you can smell it before the gloves even touch. The fighter who's more show than substance. And no, it's not just the Instagram feed or their random gear. It's in the way they walk into the gym, the way they train or pretend to train, and the way they magically disappear whenever real work clinching shows up. Today I want to break down exactly how to spot the fakes in fighting, and honestly also in life, because the same patterns show up in business, leadership, even friendships. And once you know what to look for, you can save yourself a lot of wasted time, money, and trust.
Steel and shadow, fists fly high, breaking through limits, I reach for the sky. Martial instincts, power my stride. Fight principles guiding my fight.
Welcome to the Fight Principles. I'm Sasha, and we're trying to learn from martial arts and see how we can apply martial arts wisdom to real life. And yeah, when we look at the telltale signs in fighting, it's kind of easier to see because the signs here are like those big flashing neon lights if you've been around long enough in the gym. Yeah, one of those signs, and I mentioned in the intro, it's not necessarily a brand, but like the pristine gear in mid-camp, right? Real fighters' gloves, I mean, they smell like they've been stored in a swamp. Shin guards, been covered in tape from the last time they split, right? But the fake, somehow their gloves always look super fresh out of the box halfway through what should be a camp, maybe. It's like the gear has seen more selfies than sweat. And when it comes to sparring, they only spar smaller or maybe less skilled opponents. Like there's a guy I've seen in the gym, like very talented, pretty fragile though. He'd do hard rounds with the 60-kilo guys, some of the kids even in the gym. Look like a monster, post the footage online, and then mysteriously skip sparring when the heavier hitters showed up, right? Every gym has those people, let's be honest. They're a champion as long as the opponent is like 10, 15 kilos lighter and would never really punches back. Or they avoid the gym wars, but then post the highlight reels, right? I think that's one of the classics. Everyone has those. Yeah, you won't see them in the trenches when like everybody's sticking deep, last round of the session, going hard, holding on to the clinch for dear life, not to get swept again. But then you scroll their IG and you're like, hey, whoa, look at this, another perfectly edited slow-mo of them landing a clean jab from the light technical bao, how we call it in Thailand, round. They did with the new guy last week, right? Awesome. And they always stuck the hard stuff with injuries that surprisingly heal fast. Like, I'm not talking about legend injuries, right? Real fighters get banged up all the time. I'm talking about the guy who's fine when it's like easy and it's a nice stylistic matchup, but suddenly gets tendonitis 2 weeks out from facing someone who might give him a problem. Yeah, and then magically they're healed and sparring again right after that danger has passed. So the question is, why does this all happen? Well, because being a fake is safer than being exposed. It protects your ego. If someone never truly tests themselves, they can keep telling themselves and everybody else they're good enough. Losing publicly isn't just a fight record problem, it's an identity problem for them. And let's be honest, I mean, social media inflation is also a big part of that. Yeah, today you can build an entire brand without ever proving yourself in a real fight. Post enough pads, enough slow-mos, enough shirtless flexes, people will think you're a killer until they see you in an actual fight. And the fear of exposure is way bigger than the desire to win. A real fighter wants to win more than they fear the loss. A fake fears the loss more than they want to win. That's why they'll choose looking good, they're losing slowly, over looking bad while risking it to win. And we see this when pressure builds. Because here's the thing, the ring, the cage, it's the most honest place on earth. And you can't hide in there. So the fake fighter's mark starts to slip the moment something doesn't go according to their script. Your first sign of real adversity, panic, breathing changes, eyes dark, excuses start forming before the round's even over. And they're looking for a way out, not a way through. If you've seen it before, you see a guy takes like a very light graze to the eye and all of a sudden it's like, I can see, ref calls it, doctor checks him, nothing wrong. But the fighter's losing and the fake will take any escape hatch that's offered. And again, I might sound like a hardcore hater. It's completely understandable. It is very, very understandable. Because it's easy to break fast mentally if things go wrong. It is the same fighter might look great in the first minute of the first round, but the moment their A-game isn't working, they crumble. And again, it's completely understandable. Not everybody's out made to be a fighter. And that's fine. But when it then comes to real life, then you have to really think about it. Because we have seen it outside of fighting many times too. The patterns, they don't change. The arena does. The patterns don't. And you have fake entrepreneurs, like all pitch decks, no product. They go to networking events, post hustle selfies. But when it comes to actually building something, like suddenly they're pivoting into a new idea. We heard this before, saw it on LinkedIn, right? Of course. Because fake leaders, like amazing in the boardroom and things are smooth, first sign of a crisis, they vanish behind like vague emails and let someone else take the fall. Fake friends even, like always around for the parties and the wins, but when you're struggling, suddenly they're busy or dealing with their own stuff. In every case, the illusion is always more important to them than reality. Their identity relies on the image of competence, not on competence itself. So again, if you're looking, what we always do here on the podcast, towards the 5 principal takeaways, here it comes. Spotting a fake isn't about catching one bad moment. Everybody has bad moments, and they're understandable. But it's about seeing patterns. In the fight game, watch who they train with, when they train, and how they respond when things get ugly. In life, don't judge people by what they say they could do. Give them something real. Real work, real responsibility, real resistance. And then watch. Because here's the truth. Anyone can look good on Instagram. Only the real can look bad in the moment and still push through to win.
Steel and shadow, fists fly high, breaking through limits, I reach for the sky. Martial instincts power my stride. Fight principles guiding my fight.